What's going on, pre-Chiro students? This is Dr. Ben Glass. I'm a chiropractor. We are here today with the vice president of Sherman College. So you're in for a real treat because you get to see a real deep dive into what Sherman's all about. So today we have Neil Cohen on the line. Thank you so much. Neil, can you just get started by introducing yourself, sharing what you were up to before you became a chiropractor and what attracted you to this profession?
Absolutely. Well, first, thank you, Dr. Glass, for the honor of having me on your show and being able to speak to pre-Chiro students. I think that is an important decision, probably the most important decision that a young person could make is the school that they choose. So I'm happy to be on here and guide folks in any way that I can. Uh, my story in chiropractic is not unlike a lot of you out there. Chiropractic, a lot of people call it a career. I say it's a calling, and I didn't know that I was being called, but I was. I always wanted to help people, and really didn't want to do anything I disliked. I felt like I had a purpose in my life, and I was searching that purpose out. I met this beautiful woman. She was going to a chiropractor. She was my girlfriend. She took me. I got an adjustment, and boom, it changed my life. One adjustment doesn't happen all the time, but it happened with me. And I realized at that moment, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a chiropractor. So we really have a legacy within our family now. Two of my children, I have three, two of them graduated Sherman College. They're in successful practices. And I am just so grateful that my wife took me that day, and we have this wonderful legacy in chiropractic. And our family is growing strong. We have a grandbaby now, and of course, he'll be graduating Sherman in 2049.
What can you say to the experience of having your kids go through chiropractic school, having that foresight of just being able to put the context out there of what they're really deciding to do with their lives, and how can we build context? Imagine the person that's watching this right now was your child, they're in high school, maybe even middle school, and we're trying to build context for chiropractic. What is chiropractic? How do you go about exploring chiropractic, and where did you start them at? Because I imagine it was before chiropractic school.
Yeah, and I was real careful because I didn't want to push my kids in one direction or another. I believe everyone has gifts, everyone has a life purpose, and I felt for our family, for us, the best thing to do was to be the example and live the chiropractic lifestyle. So our kids were born at home. That's how they were born. They weren't on any medications or vaccinations, and that was our personal choice. And they got adjusted when they got sick. They got adjusted when they were well. They got checked, and if they were subluxated, they got adjusted. So that's what they knew, and that was different than the public school that they went to. They had friends that were not under chiropractic care, and I think they were able to juxtapose the difference between being under chiropractic care and them being so healthy, and then other kids who were not quite as healthy and their performance wasn't as good as it should be. So they were able to see that. My daughter, in particular, she's very artistic, and she wasn't sure if chiropractic was right for her. But there are three pillars in chiropractic, and one is the art. And she has become a technical artist in the tonal technique that she practices in Greenville. So she's really doing a great job with that. And she was able to get into chiropractic because it was an art, and so that was her calling. My son was more of a bio chem major. He's into the philosophy of chiropractic. Not that my daughter's not, but he's really strong. He's a leader, and I think that each child that we had is able to just find their own gifts and find their purpose, what God has in store for them. So what I would say to those that are out there is, you know what, really determine what are you seeking? I think that's a really important question. What are you seeking in life? Do you want a life purpose? Do you want a life direction? I do know that chiropractic, at least the pure, unadulterated, unfiltered, undiminished chiropractic, can give you that. I can say that with authority and with certainty because I've been a chiropractor almost 40 years. I am more passionate about chiropractic now than I have ever been. And I just think it is phenomenal. But you really need to ask yourself these questions. What am I seeking? Do I want to help people? Do I want to really change lives and go into a community and be a leader? Do I want to share this wonderful message that can really empower people and help them understand that they were given this amazing gift, that their body can actually heal itself? This is the wonderful, wonderful message that chiropractors get to give people, is that, hey, your body can actually heal itself. You really can do this. And we just help that along. And so that would be what I would share with those that are out there listening.
Most definitely. So let's pivot to Sherman. Can we give a 30,000-foot view on Sherman? Maybe look at it at its history, what its intention has been from the beginning, and how that's evolved over time, where we're at today.
Yeah, that's a great question. I did not attend Sherman. I attended another chiropractic college back in the 1980s. I graduated Life College in 1986. Didn't know a lot about Sherman really until I got there. I've learned a lot since then. And when I got there was 2014 when I was asked to be the executive vice president of the college. But what I have learned since is Sherman really started with a pure heart and continues to have a pure heart. They want to perpetuate pure chiropractic. Tom Gilardi was the founder of Sherman College, and he actually went to Palmer Chiropractic College in Iowa. And Lyle Sherman was his mentor. Lyle Sherman happened to move to Spartanburg, South Carolina when he left his tenure at Palmer College. And at that time, Dr. Gilardi followed him to Spartanburg. So he continued to work as a mentee under Dr. Lyle Sherman. As time passed, Tom Gilardi saw the need to really put principled chiropractic and particularly upper cervical chiropractic to the forefront of chiropractic. And so he opened Sherman College in 1973. And Sherman College faced several challenges. Obviously, starting a college is a big deal. So they needed supporters, and they brought in several supporters, one being Dr. Reggie Gold and his wife, Irene. Irene at this time was a student at New York Chiropractic College. But Reggie and Irene were just stalwart supporters of chiropractic, and they actually left. Dr. Gold left his practice in Spring Valley, New York, to come to help grow Sherman College. And Sherman College began to grow. They moved from a little tiny office space downtown Spartanburg into the 90 acres that we're on today. We have 90 beautiful acres. Dr. Gilardi was president for some time, and there were several presidents after Dr. Gilardi, three. And then the last president, our current president, the fifth president of Sherman College, is Dr. Edwin Cordero. He also went to Life College, graduated in the early 90s. Him and I were good friends down in South Florida. And when he took over Sherman College, it wasn't really doing very well. Sherman had some challenges earlier on, and their student count was fairly low because they were focused very much on upper cervical. They were limited in the amount of people that were coming there. So Dr. Cordero came in there and began to, he changed the mission, the vision. We bring Sherman College to the world. We adjust the world for a better future. Him and I have traveled to 4 or 5 of the continents around the world, bringing this message of chiropractic. At the time that he took over the college, there was only about 160 students. very difficult to be successful in this world with 160 students. We are now currently, I just got the count the other day, we are now at 411. So we probably grew the school 250%. And we give all the honor, all the praise to not only God, but what an amazing team we have at Sherman College. With all the challenges that Sherman had gone through historically, one of the things that remained very clear is the people that were involved with the college were very, very committed to what Sherman was doing, which is really perpetuate chiropractic. Many of those people are still with the college today. They were through the lean times. Now times are better. We're enjoying, really, we're approaching our rightful place in chiropractic as a college. And people want to come to Sherman College. A couple of years ago, we really transformed the campus by building a $22 million campus renovation project. We have a brand new student center, auditorium. We have brand new classrooms. We have an Apple initiative where on the first day of class, you get on, actually it's orientation. We hand you an iPad. All your classes are on the iPad, your notes and all the things that you need. So there's no more books to buy. We are state of the art when it comes to technology at the college. We have a incredible mentoring program because of the we have a difficult the first year and a half is not easy. You're really going to work hard at Sherman College. So we have a mentoring program. We have a tutoring program to help you through. So we've got some really cool things going on at the college. So many. I mean, I could just go on, but I don't want to take up the whole show. I want to answer those questions that are pertinent to the folks that are listening.
Yeah, if I'm a student and I'm looking at Sherman, I want to know more about the student body. Can you reflect on the demographic that you see, how diverse it is, what the age groups are, kind of the strata of people that are attracted to Sherman and actually sign up and attend?
That's a great question. Right now, we have about 50-50 when it comes to male and female. So I think that's pretty cool. I know when I went to school, probably it was more in the neighborhood of 5 to 7% were female. So we really have an excellent ratio when it comes to that. As you know, Dr. Glass, many people that come to chiropractic college, or some, are on second and third careers. They're looking for a purpose in their life after they've been in the work environment. They haven't found it, so they find chiropractic and they come to chiropractic. That's not the majority of our demographic. The majority of our demographic is probably mid-20s and 30s. And those are the folks that you're going to find mostly at Sherman College. Of course, we have 40s, we have 50s, and we've even had some in the 60s. A couple of years ago, we had a mother and son graduate together. She was in her 60s. Of course, he was in his late 30s. So we have quite an interesting demographic. We have students from all over the world. I think at one point we were representing about 21 or 22 countries. I think we're representing about 18 or 19 countries now. We have students from Puerto Rico. We have students from really all over the world. So it's an incredible demographic. But the most important part of this is Sherman is a big family. We really care about the future of the profession. And I know that it's hard for me to give you a touch point for this. You really have to visit the campus, and you can have an opportunity to do that and talk to the students. They're gonna be straight up with you. They're gonna be totally authentic about what goes on the campus, and we're cool with that because we have an incredible student body. We have ambassadors at the college. Our students are there to lift all the students up. We realize that we have a bigger purpose in life, much bigger than ourselves, getting out into those communities and sharing chiropractic. So I think that's the best part of our demographic, is the fact that we're just a big family.
Absolutely. And I've heard that shared by students that we've had on this podcast to provide insights into what it's like to be a student at Sherman. And they always describe it of it being like a family. Also, we had Jorge Campos, head of your admissions, share that when he arrived at the campus, the thing that hit him the most was that it felt like family. And so that's really cool to hear it from you as well. Can you speak about how, well, I will just say that virtually, people are living virtually a lot more. You said the iPad initiative. That's why we have so much representation going on right now for Sherman on this podcast, because we want people in different parts of the world who may be restricted to travel to be able to get some insights as though they were right there on campus having a conversation with somebody. But can you talk about some of the initiatives that are currently going on for Sherman, like where the direction you're heading with the campus, with the college, with just like trying to make the experience as strong as possible? I remember you saying that you had a mentorship program and maybe even a business academy that you've developed. Can you touch on those things?
Right. Well, that's awesome that you're giving me that opportunity. The first initiative that I want to share is obsessed with student success. I think that that's the overarching thing that we need to talk about, because really all of those things are subsets of us being obsessed with student success. We want you to be able to get the degree that you came to Sherman for. Obviously, we're not there to spoon feed you. There's a lot of work that's to be done on your part. There's a lot of responsibility as a student to be done on your part. But at the end of the day, we provide the necessary tools so you can be successful. The key is you have to take advantage of those tools. One of the tools that you mentioned was our Practice Success program. We teach 14 quarters of proven business principles. That's one thing that I did not get when I was in chiropractic college. I really got one business class. So when I opened up my office, I lost a lot of money, really, by trial and error, just trying to figure it all out. It took me a couple of years to really, anchor my feet and understand what the business world was about. Because becoming from being a student to entering the business world is a really it's a big leap. It's a cliff that you have to really jump off of, and there's a lot to be learned. So what we have figured out and what we want for our students, being obsessed with their success, is for them to get out of the gate running. Listen, you could be an associate. That's cool. You could learn. You could be a mentee under somebody who's successful, but you can also open up your own practice right out of the gate, because you're going to have all the necessary tools to do that from our G10 program. Now, I say G10. What does G10 mean? G is graduation. 10 is 10 years. The purpose, the outcome that we're looking to have is that you have all your student loan debt paid 10 years after you graduate. That's why we're obsessed with your success. And frankly, it's a little selfish why we want to do that. We want you to be proud of your alma mater. We want you to give back to your alma mater. We want you to send more students to your alma mater. So we want to make that experience really, really good for you with regard to being a excellent business person. The other thing is our Thrive program. Our Thrive program is tied into our Apple initiative. Basically, we go by the quarter system. Quarters go pretty quickly. We have open enrollment at Sherman, so you could enter in any quarter and be your first quarter: January, April, July, or the end of September. Any one of those could be your first quarter. But we have a Thrive program, which in these quarters, you have about 10 weeks of learning. They go really quickly. And it's like drinking water from a fire hose. You're going to have somewhere between 27, 28, and even some quarters, 29 credit hours. Obviously, you're going to be going through those credit hours with other students, but it's a heavy load, especially within your first 6 or 7 quarters. So we provide you with this Thrive program where we're able to know how you're doing at any given time during the quarter. So let's say you need a 75 to pass a class, And by the time midterms roll around, you haven't taken your midterm yet, but there's been a couple of quizzes and you're in that like 69 or 70 range. You're going to get an email from the Thrive director. It's not that we're stalking you, it's that we know where you're at and we know where you need help. And it's going to suggest that you come in, meet with the Thrive director, and we're going to get you some help in that class. Because when the midterm comes up, if you don't get something substantial, like maybe an 80 on the midterm, you're going to be in trouble for the rest of the quarter, and you're going to end up having to repeat that class. We don't want you to have to do that. Will it happen? It's possible. But at the end of the day, we're going to provide all the necessary options for you to keep that from happening. Why do we do that? We don't want to take your money unless we have to. In other words, you're going to have to pay for that class again. It's not that we're there to make money on you. We want you to be successful at Sherman College. Come through the program, get through it, and become a successful chiropractor. Sherman does something a little different than most other chiropractic colleges, and I'm going to share with you what it is. You actually need a 2.75 to enter any chiropractic college in your undergrad cumulative. Sherman College will let you in with a 2.75, but what we really want is a 3.0. So if you come in with less than a 3.0, let's say a 2.85, you're already going to be on our radar, and we're going to be giving you a special schedule to help you and make sure that you can get through the program. Here's why. Sherman is the hardest chiropractic college to get in, but it's the easiest chiropractic college to be kicked out of. And I'll tell you why. If you fail 2 classes in a row, you have to take 6 months off. Why do we do that? Because we don't want to continue to take your money if you're not demonstrating that you have the tools to pass a class. So what you're going to do in that 6 months is you're going to take a class outside of Sherman College that's going to help you get through that class once you reapply and get back into Sherman. So it sounds like we don't want you, but we do want you, and we want you to be successful. So those are some of the things that we do at Sherman College. The Thrive program, the iPad initiative, as well as the G10 program.
Yeah, when I look out on the internet for college students or prospective healthcare career path students, a lot of it is about how difficult it is to get into school, how difficult the path is academically. And I'd like to just shine a light right now on how difficult the path is more personally for someone who's becoming a chiropractor. Can you talk about the qualities of what it takes to really develop yourself and really develop a deep connection to yourself that stays with you through the program and into practice, and what it's really like to be a chiropractor, being that you've been one for over 35 years now?
Well, I think it goes back to a quote that Mark Twain had many years ago. He said the 2 most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. This really ties into your purpose. So you have to be hungry enough to want to get to the end result. And I think that takes a bit of maturity, and it takes some anchoring into knowing who you are and what you want to do with your life. If you're not really sure about what you want to do, that's going to have an effect on your decision making when you're in a difficult program. Young people, and let's face it, I was young once. We like to party, we like to go out, we like to have fun, we like to, really, get refreshed. You're really going to have to be a mature person. You're going to have to really want to learn how to be a professional, because you're representing a community. And let's face it, you're a doctor in a community. And whatever that looks like to you, from looking at it from the outside in, that's what you want to emulate. And what that means is you want to be certain about what you know. You want to be able to communicate. You want to be able to really share who you are and what unique value you bring to a person's life, helping them be the best version of themselves. So I really think that maturity plays a big role in this. And that's why, graduate school, frankly, is not like undergrad. It really isn't. Undergrad, there might be some 4.0ers out there that are just saying, hey, this, I can do this. Let me tell you something. My son was incredibly gifted in undergrad. My daughter was incredibly gifted in undergrad. And listen, they lived with us when they went through the program, and I'm telling you, it's a tough program. I didn't go through the program. They went through the program. So the thing that you want to know is you have to have a hunger, a desire. That's really what it comes down to. And really, that's anything in life. If you really want to get to that point, it comes as a matter of intent. What is your intent? Again, what are you seeking?
Hmm. What is Sherman Roar, and how can students learn more about that?
Well, the ROAR program is really set up more for practicing doctors like yourself, Dr. Glass. ROAR is reach out and recruit. And that's what we're really doing right now. We're reaching out and recruiting. We're sharing the message about chiropractic. We're sharing the message about Sherman College. And the ROAR program really allows doctors of chiropractic to keep information about Sherman College in their practices to share with prospective students, because you and I both know that when people are coming into your office, they go, how can I do this? You have a great life, Dr. Glass.
Hmm.
You're so happy, you're so joyful. I want to do what you do. And then
Hmm.
you say, hey, listen, you can do that, and here are the colleges that I recommend. We just want Sherman to be on that radar for
Hmm.
those practicing doctors, so we can send raw materials to them.
Right on. And so there's maybe a link to Roar that we'll post, where if a student's out there and wants to get connected with a Sherman Roar doc, that they can probably reach out and get connected, right? Depending on where
Absolutely.
they're at.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dr. Campos actually is the director of that department.
Hmm.
And his email is jcampos@sherman.edu, Campos. So he is just, as you know, you interviewed him. He's a stellar individual. Love him.
Perfect. Yeah, bilingual as well, which helps. Can you speak finally to just sort of bring it home for people on like some of the success stories you've seen of recent graduates, or even your kids, and just how they've gone out into the world after graduating from Sherman, and the tools that they have, the skills they have, the conviction or the connection to chiropractic that they have, and how that's benefited them in their path?
I would love to do that. There's so many, and the couple just popped into my head. A lot of success stories have to do with core values. My daughter is really interested in making a difference in people's lives. Her core value isn't, how much money can I make? Some of the folks that are listening, that's going to be their core value. We have success stories where we have students getting out of the gate, and they're in the six figures grossing within their first year of practice. This is, you can't give all the credit to Sherman College. I'm just going to be really vulnerable here. People have gifts and talents that they're going to bring to their community, and they're going to be more successful than other people. But it's just like raising a child. If you give a child all the necessary tools to be a great adult, they're more likely to be a great adult than if you don't give them those tools. So at Sherman College, we have successful practitioners they're doing really well financially. We have successful practitioners that are doing really well at paying off their student loans very quickly within 10 years, earlier than 10 years. We have this incredible doctor, Dr. Tim Hartman, who has sent not only his two sisters to Sherman College, but he found his wife at Sherman College, and the two sisters have found their husbands at Sherman College, or their future husbands. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's like all of these things are happening, and it's because of chiropractic. So, some
Mhm.
of the success stories are having to do with volume practices. People are seeing incredible numbers. Some of the success stories have to do with blind eye seeing and deaf ears hearing, and people getting their life back because of chiropractic care, and really learning how to make sure that people are living without interference so they can be the best version of themselves, and they can
Mhm.
navigate through the world the best possible way that they can. So we have a lot of students like that,
Mhm.
and I can't wait to share with some of these prospective students that are on the line right now, or maybe those thinking about chiropractic career, that we have a Showcase Sherman weekend. And if you
Mhm.
qualify for that, we'll actually fly you into the college. We do that 4 times a year.
Mm.
We'll put you up for several days in a hotel. We'll have a leadership training. You'll get to really take a tour of Greenville and Spartanburg, South Carolina. We're close to Asheville. We're close to Charleston. We're close to Charlotte. You'll be in a palpation course where you'll learn how to really feel the segments of the spine, and you'll learn philosophy, and you'll get to meet our students, and you'll get to see our beautiful campus.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all these different insights. I think that transparency is so important in today's world. It gives people a sense of trust, which is really lacking a lot of the times. And I just want to thank you, Dr. Cohen, for the dedication that you've had to Sherman. I think that you've been given a gift of seeing all these young chiropractors come through and go out into the world, and it just extends the reach that we have on our communities and in our communities. I think that chiropractic is more relevant now than ever. And on behalf of any prospective student out there who actually watched this and took notes and really just is really doing the hard work to figure out what is the right path for them, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And if anybody wants to contact me directly, my email is ncohen, Cohen, at sherman.edu. And I encourage you to go to our website, sherman.edu. And I look forward to meeting every single one of you out there. So you all have just a blessed day. Thank you, Dr. Glass, for having me today. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.